It don't really matter. Let's fire up a bowl.
Yeah, you got
Fire up a bowl, Shaq.
Give me, I want one.
I smoke about 10 joints every day. I enjoy getting high. I don't do it because my friends do. I just like getting high and like the feeling, and I'm more cheerful and I laugh, and it's just, I don't know. I enjoy it.
Well, I started using pot in the 9th grade. A couple friends got me high for once, and I liked it, and I started getting into it. My parents, for the first time that they found out that I was spending so much money on it, that was their concern, the money that I was spending on it. Being high is really hard to explain. It makes me feel good, yeah. It's like going out with my friends, living it up. It's basically a way just to live it up. Just take it as it comes. I just buy it, smoke it, and nothing comes out of it except ashes.
I was around 11 years old, and it started with my cousin. She was around, 15 at that time, and she introduced me and my other cousin around my age to a joint. And, just say, wow, what is this? And they showed us how to hit a joint, we're saying, okay, and we got high.
Well, really, the first time I smoked, I was about 8 years old. But, it was when I first tried it. And I'd say I started, smoking it, on a regular basis about the age of 10.
One night, Rodney came in, and he went straight to his room, and he was 11, I guess. And, and I went in there, and I said, Rodney, because he usually, he'll stop and talk to me. And so I went in there, and his eyes were just all, and I knew that he'd been smoking.
National surveys are now showing that 11% of seniors in our high schools are getting stoned or drunk, which is a better term, every single day. We did a survey last year that showed 30 to 70% of high school students are getting stoned 3 to 5 times a week. That's a lot of marijuana use.
It really got popular with my age group, and I went to my first party when I was 12, and I had a ball. And I just kept on going to parties. And finally, around when I was 13, I got into high school. And I started to find out where to get it, who to buy it from, who the dealers were. And it was like a big family, of drug users.
Young people like Regina usually are in experimental stage of life. They want to try out new things. The problem that we're seeing more and more is in the places where they have recreation, like the parks, in places like schoolyards. There are more people who are, making marijuana available to them. And out of curiosity, more of them are trying it. And they're trying it because it's available, it's relatively inexpensive, and it's supposed to be fun. And every young person wants to do something for fun. So they'll try it. Sure, why not?
I used to get high on the bus a lot coming to school, and get to school, hang in the front, and go get high again. There's nothing else better to do sometimes.
In the morning, if you'd meet a friend before school and get high, it just made the day. You looked forward to it a little more.
When I first started smoking, it was like I was really conscious of just what I was doing, and all of my friends were getting high, and it was a lot of peer pressure.
I did it because, I thought I could be with his gang, being older than what I was.
When I first get up, I smoke a joint because I get higher easier, in the morning when I first wake up, because my body hadn't started going,
It was, I guess, peer pressure. I never wanted to admit that, but as I think about it, I think it was.
Yeah, 90% of them use every day. It's, what I know. And the other 10% go to school, good little kids, and I'm one of them now.
Well, most of them find that life, just everyday going to school and whatever, is pretty boring. And for them, it's a kick, using marijuana makes them high, makes things funny, makes their dull lives exciting. And many of them don't know how to deal with their boredom, so they find that using marijuana is one way of being, it's entertaining. They can laugh at things that weren't funny before. They enjoy things better. That's what they think.
Yeah, I could say that I would get into the music more. It's not really a hard drug that totally alters your mind. It doesn't make you stumble and it doesn't make you slur your words. It's not all that different from being straight, Being high doesn't affect my performance. You're just more relaxed and you're more into what you're doing.
It's a euphoric thing, and it's the best way to listen to music, if not the only way to listen to music.
You can hear every sound, just every little tone of music you can hear, and it just, your body just moves to it, to the sounds, and it's weird. You think you can do things better, think your conversation's better, I really know what I'm talking about when I'm high, And it sounds stupid, but that's really the way people think.
Now,
I found I could do most of the work, and I really enjoyed the work when I was high. But I couldn't really read as well when I was high. But I could do math and all that really well. I found that I liked it a lot. It was fun.
The marijuana user has a kind of delusion where he feels that marijuana is not affecting him, or if it's affecting him, it's making him a better person, a more sensitive person, a more intuitive person, a more laid-back person, a kinder person, a more intelligent person. In fact, when we test that, whether it's at the wheel or at the keyboard or at tests in school, it doesn't work out. They, in fact, perform much worse.
I just know more when I'm high because, I can think better. Because my head just feels good and I can write down some answers. Sometimes they're right.
When I go into class high, I won't do my work, or I'll go home and then I'll get high and then I can do it, in a snap. It's just easy then.
Before school, sometimes I smoke pot, and sometimes I don't. But, when I'm in school, I can think clearly. It might not be, real pot, it might not be real quick, but I can think clearly, I think.
This is the worst year Rodney has ever had at school. He has always been a really good student. And, I know how smart he is, and I've always been told that he's a really good student. But this year, he made like 3 Ds on his report card. And he goofs off.
There would be things that I could do when I was high. I'd do things like I'd draw diagrams that were really explicit, and they would tell 1,000 words instead of writing it all down. There's some things like art and woodshop can really be creative when you're high.
Well, maybe make
I like to be high and do my artwork because I'm more comfortable and I see my work, differently. You're more creative, definitely. I feel more creative, more relaxed. I could deal with people more and better.
So you're almost done?
Yeah.
You're going to put a title on
No,
it?
I'm not almost done. Look at how much I've got to do.
Well,
That is going to be
you're
incredible.
You're going to outline every one of these?
Every little thing.
Well, what about here? Don't you want to let that just go?
When you talk with the teachers, and as the principal, when I go in and talk with them, what we find is that their performance starts to go down. In math class, they can't grasp the concepts. They seem to be tripping out on you. In English class, their writing ability and their ability to comprehend it. And now when you talk about, an art project or music, the loss of interest. The whole thing seems to be get out and get with your friends and get a joint and get high. You see the grades start to drop from A, B, C, and you find a lot of failure.
As a school psychologist, I view the problem here as a fairly large one. When I see kids who are very alienated, very low energy, missing a lot of classes, there's a syndrome that develops, that you can pretty soon recognize as, I bet this kid is heavily into pot. They don't care about classes. They don't care very much about anything except rapping with their friends. They usually meet after school, rap, smoke a joint or two, and it makes them feel that whatever they're doing when they're under the influence, that it's a lot better than it really is. So it takes away a certain amount of pain that adolescents must feel in terms of not being able to accomplish, not being able to measure up.
I thought maybe I was just putting so much pressure on him. And I said, Rodney, are you trying to escape from me or, your family life? Is it so bad? And he says, no. He said, I love you. And he said, I just love everything. And he does. The child is, I don't know.
Our culture tells kids in many different ways that it's okay to get high and it's okay to get super high. We have head shops that are selling paraphernalia in great numbers. It's now a $600 million a year operation. We have the rock stars who are saying that you can use anything you want and you don't have to pay any dues. We have a whole literature of magazines that are saying you can get high, that are even giving you sendaways where you can get the formulas and learn how to make drugs. Our culture is giving a big message that getting high is okay.
Your actions are sometimes slower and you'll laugh at yourself. You'll say, wow, I tripped over that, how could I miss that? And you just start laughing. And when you start laughing, you just can't stop, and you think it's so funny. And in reality, it's not. In reality, it's dull and boring and true. And who wants something dull and boring?
They don't know what's real, what's really going on. They don't enjoy life. They don't enjoy life unless they're high. And therefore, they don't learn how to make themselves happy. But the reality is they don't remember very much of what happens to them. They stop doing certain things, like they probably cut down on a certain amount of activities. They don't see other friends. They don't do physical activities. Sports drop off. Certain things that, other kinds of fun things they could be doing, they start to do it less. They stop communication with some of their friends, the ones in squares. They stop communication with their parents. They get themselves cut off, and then they find themselves alone. Then they're left in a position where they can be picked up by people that maybe they would have never, ever been with. But now that they're in this situation, those are the only people left to be friends with.
We got a little place down by the school, a little walkway called the Steps. You go there, and usually